Hello and welcome back to the C Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm Connor.
We are enjoying our holiday breaks here. I've returned from Virginia. We watched World's End. We've got a lot to talk about here, but I wanted to start off with a topical football game. The NFL and the playoffs, or the CFB playoffs, college football playoffs, are in full swing. Bowl season.
Oh, hell yeah.
All that good
Best
stuff.
time of the year.
Now, this is a totally theoretical game. There is no wrong answer, right? This is purely rhetorical. I'm going to give you a wrestler's name. Who do they root for? Now, you don't have to get it exactly right, but again, what's the vibe, right?
Now, do you want me to say, now are you saying what college team, what pro team, or both?
Either.
Oh, just either.
So
okay.
if one screams out to you, like if I said Ricochet screams Dallas Cowboys fan to me, but he's actually an Eagles fan, which, you know what, credit to him. Credit to him there, but in every other universe, on every other planet, that man is a Dallas Cowboys
100% through.
100% through and through a Dallas Cowboys fan. So I'm going to give you a wrestler, and then and then again, just whoever comes to the top of your head, and if you have a reason,
let's do it.
First off, out of the tag team champions, FTR, Dax Harwood, first off.
Dax Harwood. He seems like he would be like a Big Ten school. Like if he was like, I love Iowa. Like I'm a Hawkeyes guy. Like I would 100% buy that.
He's like a diehard Purdue fan.
Yes.
And it's like, why, man? Why do you punish yourself like this? That's good. What about Cash?
Oh, man. I feel like Cash would be more of like just a pro guy, and I feel like he'd be like, oh, I love the Seahawks, and he'd call back to the Legion of Boom from back in the day.
They should have given it to Sherman, or not to Sherman, to
Lynch.
To Lynch, yeah.
Run the ball.
Sherman was the defensive guy. Yes. I know football. I know hand egg. Known Knicks fan, Kazuchika Okada.
So if he's a Knicks fan, right? If he stays with that, right, it would be Jets or Giants.
I was going to say Lakers. Or not. That was dumb. I don't know why I said Lakers, but Jets, Giants.
Or I could see him totally throwing some random curveball, and he's just Arizona Cardinals.
49ers. He loves Jerry Rice for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
That's because it's
goats love goats.
I love a big team in every sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's I love the Knicks because the Knicks are a big team, but they're always getting beaten up on. The 49ers had the 90s, the 80s and 90s, Montana, Rice.
And they had their stretches of years when Harbaugh was there and they made it, right? And that year after the Eagles won, they made it to the Super Bowl. So I get that.
Austin Gunn.
Oh, man. He's got to be just he screams SEC football to me, but I feel like he doesn't have the confidence of someone whose team was good while he was alive.
Like a mid-tier SEC school?
Like Arkansas Razorbacks.
Oh my God! Yes, you nailed that.
Oh, stop! Really? Let's go.
No. I don't know if he's a Razorbacks fan, but that's the exact answer that I was looking for. Yeah, you nailed that. Brody King, a guy who could legitimately play in the NFL.
Oh man, Brody King. I feel like he'd be like someone that loves a team, either the Sun Belt, if he were a JMU guy, or if he were a random team, if he loved Arizona State, if he's the Sun Devils,
Big 12,
go Devils,
old Big 12 stuff. Yeah, that makes sense to me. West Coast style,
forks up.
Another big man, Luchasaurus.
I could see Luchasaurus. Again, another big guy who would want a big known ground and pound. Seem being Alabama. It's the way they do everything. They dominate.
Love it. Wheeler Yuta.
Oh man. I'm gonna say that he's down here with us, and he's a Temple Owls fan. He's a Philly guy.
He went to Villanova.
I know, but I feel like he would want to pretend like he cheered for a real D1 football team and not an FCS team.
The first Temple football game I went to was Temple Villanova, the end of August 2012. Ask me who presented the Mayor's Cup to the Temple Owls after we won.
Who presented the Mayor's Cup to the Temple Owls after we won?
I'll tell you who. It was one Bill Cosby.
Oh, no.
It was Bill Cosby. 2012, folks. 2012.
Don't drink from that cup.
Yeah, I think Yuta for me, again, screams like he is a diehard Chiefs fan now. He like goes against the grain. He's a heel. Back in the 90s, he was a Cowboys fan. He was a Pats fan.
During their dynasty, like whatever was like the not cool thing to like, he's like, that's my favorite. They've always been my favorite.
Exactly. So in the college game, I'm trying to think who would that be, like Boise State in their blue field.
Yeah, I could.
Oregon.
I could see that, or if he just like was hard stuck on like Ohio State, just like wants the history of it, but a team that's
Excuse
still
me,
consistently
the
good.
Ohio State. On the women's side, we're moving over to the women's side because women can like football too. Chris Statlander.
Oh man, Statlander's after my own heart. She's a Birds fan.
There you go. Julia Hart.
Ooh, I know she's not related to the other Hearts, but I don't know why. I just want to say a Canadian football team.
She's a Blue Bombers fan,
right? Like something like that. Like just so locked in on the Grey Cup.
Hell yeah. My theory is that Julia Hart, she's from Minnesota. She's from Bloomington. She's a Packers fan because again, she just likes going against the grain,
enemy territory style.
Exactly. Sky Blue.
Ooh. Sky Blue is a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, man, I feel like that if we're talking college, it would definitely be like Texas Tech. Like a team that's just like run and gun, throw the ball a million times. Like, we're going to run the score up. We're going to have a track meet. We dare you to stop us.
Last, but certainly not least, Tony Storm.
Oh, man. Unfortunately, I feel like that Tony Storm would probably end up like as like a Ravens or a Commanders fan, like just something in that area, just really like latch on to something disappointing and then realize that, well, if they're not going to do it for me, I'll do it myself.
I was thinking like Tony is a fan of like the Los Angeles. I'm trying to think like the Los Angeles Roughnecks. Like a team that existed for like 3 seasons in the 20s in like the Continental Football Association or something.
Right. Or like is still a diehard, like either like arena football fan or like when the XFL existed on and off 4 times.
She's still a big Philadelphia Soul fan. I just love Bon
Shout out to
Jovi,
Soul,
dude.
Man. Shout out to Soul. They cooked. I loved going to the Soul games.
I just love that episode of It's Always Sunny where Mac shaves his head. Or he wears a bald cap. Then he doesn't shave his eyebrows. Laughing about television episodes on podcast audio medium. Great content, Charles. Great content, Charles. Who do you think is going to be national champion this year in the college game?
Oh man, like my heart says that Georgia is probably gonna do the thing again.
Mm-hmm.
But Oregon's sneaky, man. Everyone thought last year was Oregon's year.
I saw Oregon play, actually, so I believe you.
Dude, I love their coach. Like when they do the shots of like all his like hype talks right before they go out and all the different things he has, like whether it's talking about when they were playing Colorado and that first go, it's like, oh, like they're here for the clicks and all, we're here to win. When they're playing USC and he's like, you know why we're dressed in all blacks? We're going to a Trojan funeral. Like he's just
Yikes.
Dude, he's like just a football dude.
Well, we're going to talk more about some dudes here on The C Show. Welcome back to The C Show. It's the Dynamite Miracle on 34th Street. Dynamite on 34th Street on Christmas Eve. Again, when it all settles down at my parents' house and most of my family's asleep, usually it's just my mom and I, and we're just night owls that way. And my mom is just like reading the newspaper or something on her iPad, and I will force her to watch wrestling or watch whatever I'm watching. And I usually have to tone it down. But recently with the wrestling, I'm just kind of just like, well, screw it. And so I did get my mom to watch a lot of wrestling during the holiday year or a holiday week here. And she did ask a question that we're going to talk about later.
Hell yeah.
So I did want to note before we get started, we're in Hammerstein. This was all recorded the weekend before, so none of this is live, fortunately. Everybody got to go home and spend some time with their family, their loved ones for the holidays. We love to hear it. So we start off here at the Hammerstein, a great room for wrestling. I love all of the boxes on the side, like the tiered boxes. It's incredible. If you haven't already, after watching Timothy Chalamet on Cody Rhodes' podcast, go back and watch One Night Stand 05 and 06. We start off in the blue league of the Continental Classic, Orange Cassidy versus Konosuke Takeshita. We got like 2 or 3 streamers. You know, the paper streamers that people throw in. We got 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, oh, we're going to get streamers all night. And then we didn't, and I was a little sad. I love that Don Callis always, you know, when he introduces Hechicero, he says, yo soy Hechicero, which is inaccurate. But he never speaks Japanese. Interesting. Interesting. What about the Alpha? What about the Rainmaker? Huh? What's your move of the match?
I'll do a couple things. I know we have a lot to go. So Orange does his classic hands in the pocket and starts hitting drop kicks, and I put it as they don't work till they do. I think it took 3 or 4 for him to actually drop Takeshita. Mm-hmm. And then a move that Takeshita always does that I love is he does the like German suplex where you're behind them, like wrap around their waist, throw them over. But he does it, you know, like we always say, the long way, or what they call wheelbarrow style, where the guy's like really stretched out and he really reaches back over him. Like, it definitely makes it much harder to do because, right, it's like think about lifting something farther away from you versus close to you.
Yeah, it's just the physics of it.
Right, to power a guy up like that is awesome. And then my other move is Orange Cassidy hitting the beach break on the apron. Mm-hmm. Apron, known as the hardest part of the ring. Like, and I don't know about those AEW rings just make such a sound when you slam the apron, man.
I think they use a thicker plywood and less padding under the canvas. I know WWE has some padding under the canvas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know the whole thing is basically like the farther you get away from the middle of the ring, the more it hurts. Like, that's why they talk about the apron being the hardest.
Certainly is the hardest. My move of the match is the sequence where the Cassidy hits the Poison Rana off the ropes, and then Takeshita counters immediately with the Blue Thunder Bomb. Takeshita can secure a place in the semifinals by winning here, and boy, does he. It's a banger of a match, a classic that the commentary desk is right next to the entrance spot, and Takeshita gets the knee to Cassidy's face on the ropes. Takeshita slams on the apron. They both roll onto the floor. Cassidy hoping for the count out, but he immediately rolls up Takeshita. Cassidy and Takeshita trade pins, and the Alpha attempts the Raging Fire twice until he pulls it off. Sign of the night, Don Callis is in the Epstein files. Takeshita gets 3 points and secures the first spot in the Blue League. We get a promo here from Gabe Kidd. He's going to throw Darby Allin down the stairs. This was the part where I was like, oh, darn it. Damn it, Tony. You really had to do that and then put Gabe Kidd on afterwards. I don't want my mom to know what Darby Allin is up to. I don't need my mom to know who Darby Allin is. The Flaming Table, insane. Bang Bang Gang and FTR are, again, at World's End. They're fighting for the Tag Team Championship. Bang Bang says, let's get rid of the rules. Let's get rid of the ropes. You got to get down. You got to get dirty. It's a Chicago street fight. If you don't like that, we got 2 words for you. Guns up. Again, Juice Robinson is from Joliet, Illinois. If you know anything about Joliet, Illinois, you know that there is a state penitentiary there that the Blues Brothers were at. Yes.
Okay.
Joliet Jake.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We were talking about the Pope earlier, but the Pope loves the Blues Brothers and finds that it is a very Catholic movie. So go tell that to your priests, and they'll probably agree. He'll probably agree. All right. Next up, in the Blue League, Roderick Strong versus Mascara Dorada. Already eliminated, Strong is fighting for nothing here but his pride. Dorada needs the chips to land the right way to make this work for him. What's your move of the match?
I just had two. One was Dorada's shooting star press.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, he just flies around, man. He's awesome.
It's amazing.
And then Strong hit a really nice spinning back suplex on the apron. Like, he was on the floor, picked him up, and dumped his back on the apron. Again, sure as hell looked like it hurts. I wish we got a little more out of this. I didn't feel like there was a whole lot to this. And again, I know it was kind of weird with Strong already being out. Dorada already needs the kind of help. Like, this was one of the few matches kind of coming down the stretch here where I felt like it really didn't mean anything. I felt like there was more build and better, like especially when we get to the actual Christmas episode, like those ones where it's really like, this last one's exactly how it has to go. Like that just felt more built, not only up to it, but throughout the actual match.
Yeah, Roderick's run in the C2, the Continental Classic, is a little disappointing. We'll have a little bit more as we talk about his final match on Christmas Day. We had a lot of grappling and technical wrestling to get started. I loved the Senton Atomico near the end, and then that leads into a shooting star press off the ropes. Dorada pins Strong 1, 2, 3 for 3 more points. Backstage, Renee introduces Chris Statlander. Well, technically, on the ramp, Renee introduces Chris Statlander and Jamie Hayter. The girlies are going nuts. Jamie's Canadian tuxedo rocks. Like, literally, they cut to like all of the women at the show, and they were just freaking out. Love it. Jamie's Canadian tuxedo rocks. You were on top of the world, but you lost everything. You just need to focus on the future. Statlander says, "Don't pity me for what I've been through. You faced me before, but at World's End, you'll be facing the Cosmic Killer." Hayter wants to add something and throws a punch. Statlander catches it, and they go at it, and Statlander takes her belt off.
The only thing I'll add to that is after her line about "don't pity me," Statlander said, "Fear me for what I have become."
Yes.
Excellent
stuff. Next up, we've got MJF versus Dustin Waller. You want to talk about this match at all?
Again, it's really I think it actually might be the first time we've seen MJF actually wrestle since we've started covering AEW. I know he's been out for a while between the movies and getting married and things like that.
He fought Briscoe, and then there was also the title fight against Hangman too. So he's been doing PPV stuff.
Oh no, you're 100% right. Yes,
he's been super limited, and then again he got married. He's been on break shooting movies and stuff.
Yeah, this is just the classic. Like, Dustin got the jobber entrance, MJF came down, Dustin, and they're like, "All right, and here's Dustin Waller." Right, and MJF just literally toys with them, hits the. I'm sorry, what are we calling his patented off the ropes walk into the no spot? What was it? I'm sorry.
Oh, I called it the no bump.
The no bump. So yeah, it's literally like that. He hits the hammerlock DDT and then locks in the Salt of the Earth, which is a Fujiwara arm bar, which very, very quickly Dustin taps, and we just kind of keep it moving.
MJF gets a mic, and he's about to talk before Hangman's music plays. The spotlight shows that Hangman is standing at the same spot as Sandman's entrance, 2006 ECW One Night Only. But whose house is it? Tonight we are in the Hammerstein. Say what you were going to say. Swerve is also there across the sort of balcony area. Hangman wants to hear something spicy from MJF. That would be a really good deal for your movie career, right? The Ops and the Joppers run down the ramp. MJF almost causes Hangman and Swerve to hit each other. Samoa Joe hopes you enjoyed this training exercise. They were really there to expose your true natures. MJF sneaks behind Swerve, but Hangman gets him. Whose house? Swerve's house. The house call. MJF gets the chain around his neck. My mom notes, well, it doesn't seem fair that they get to bring chains in with them. Life ain't fair, ma. Swerve calls MJF every word in the book but nice. Let's talk about the Pinnacle, Wardlow, Jay White, Adam Cole, all victims of MJF. The Pinnacle being the stable that he was in and leader of. Wardlow, his quote-unquote bodyguard, who is indefinitely out due to a pec injury. Jay White, similarly injured in a feud with MJF. Adam Cole, again, indefinitely injured after wrestling with MJF. Swerve mentions, no matter who I get in the ring with, whether they're enemy or ally, as he looks at Hangman, don't care if it's in the wrestling ring, your movie career, or being a damn husband, I will end you. He hits the catchphrase, just like Samoa Joe wanted. This was a killer segment.
No, this was this was really good. Like, again, it's another time where it's like they probably didn't need the match. It probably could have just been, but it gave a good setup, right? Letting Swerve and Hangman coming from the crowd, right? And then Joe to do his, again, made me think of like a classic like Bond villain. Like, this was just a training exercise.
This was just an exercise, Mr. Bond. Did you see, since we're on talking about football, did you see Tom Brady's single glove?
No.
I am the son of a German missionary and a Chinese concubine, Mr. Bond. Dr. No. That joke is exclusively for my dad. Merry Christmas, Dad. Renee talks with the Babes of Wrath backstage. We got everything we needed with these titles, but I need a boost of confidence, Willow notes. Willow, Harley, and Renee trade some positivity, and Willow gets overly excited. Next up, in the Dynamite ring match, Ricochet versus Bandito. Bald.
This was a great match. I wasn't sure what to really expect. They went hard in it, and it was great, right? Gotta love anytime anyone slaps Ricochet on his bald ass head. And then Bandito really impressed me. There was a point where he did a one-arm press slam, picked Ricochet up with one arm, dumped him on the apron. And then my other moment is this really nice sequence where Ricochet hits a Northern Lights suplex, which is basically like an overhead suplex where you like grab the leg, but then he held on to Bandito's head and hit a brain buster on the apron. And then they do a roll to the floor, but Bandito counters and hits a suplex of his own on the floor. Then we get the classic, oh, we're going to beat the count, they're both down, blah, blah, blah. But that was just smooth to kind of tie all that together, especially working to in the ring, on the apron, outside of the ring, all a continuous sequence with no breaks.
Yeah, Bandito is one of the best, and his performance here exemplifies it and cements it here. Excuse me. My move of the match is Bandito turning the dangerous situation into a poison rana before the 21-plex goes wrong. Of course, the Gates of Agony come in. They interfere for Ricochet and the Bald Man. This is at the point where my mom asks me, why do some wrestlers wear masks? And this is a tradition that goes back, thousands of years to just like traditional theater and performance art. In the modern context, it goes back to Lucha Libre, right? There are multiple origin stories. I think the best example for our audience here, especially wrestling newbies, is Nacho Libre. I think the story of Nacho Libre, which I don't remember the specifics off the top of my head, but it's about a priest who begins to perform wrestling to earn money for the orphanage that he runs, essentially. And there's no way that this priest can do mass and be the figure that he needs to be for both the orphanage, the children, and the community, and also wrestle. And so he dons the mask, right? And the masks initially were to protect luchadors. From what I've read and what I've seen, Lucha Libre, especially in the last century, in the 20th century, it is very, very emotional. People take it very, very seriously. There are some arenas that are split. You are either rooting for the face or you're rooting for the heel, right? And things have gotten violent. Like, things don't end well for some folks, unfortunately. And so the masks help protect people's identities. I think it's one of the last forms of kayfabe, and the idea that we know almost nothing about Mascara Dorada. Doesn't really do a lot of interviews. We don't know a lot about Bandito. We don't know a lot about a lot of these Like, we know a lot about Rey Mysterio because he got unmasked. He was like the face of the company. There are other luchadors that don't wear masks: Eddie Guerrero, Sammy Guevara, etc., etc. But again, it's just all a part of the beauty of it, right? There's the characters, there's the designs. Like Mascara Dorada literally means golden mask. All of his stuff has some sort of gold emphasis on it. So it's just really awesome. I love Bandito, right? Bandito is a bandit, right? He's got the effect that it looks like a handkerchief over his face, like a classic bandit from the Wild West. And again, Bandito does an incredible job here. He hits the go to sleep. I don't know what they call it now in AEW, but as Khan distracts the ref and Leona grabs Ricochet to counter the 21-plex, Ricochet gets the low blow. Bandito counters the Spirit Gun to pin 1, 2, 3. It's a little confusing here, but Bandito does win. Ricochet continues to batter Bandito in the head. Aubrey Edwards chastises him, and Brody King runs down the ramp. Bandito wins the ring and a chance at the AEW men's title in Phoenix in January. Wow, what a lot going on there, huh?
Right.
Backstage, Lexi talks with Darby Allin. Darby says, "I got bigger things to worry about than Gabe Kidd." And then, of course, he attacks. The classic VHS glitch, but isn't Darby, like, super injured? I'm such a mark. Gabe warns Darby, "You got things to worry about," and kicks him down the stairs. This is, like, very classic, like, New York backstage, where there's, like, a lot of exposed brick, and it was all designed 200 years ago, basically, now at this point. And so I'm like, geez, that's got to be scary. Darby Allin, are you injured? Are you not? You got us worrying, pal. We just want you to be healthy, man. We want you to have fun. We want you to be able to do what you want to do. Next up, we got Marina Shafir versus Mina Shirakawa. This isn't confusing at all. Mina wants to fight for Tony for once. "I fight alone," Tony reluctantly promises. But Mina does go out. She attacks Marina on the ropes and guillotines the knee to start. What's your move of the match?
It's probably, so like you said, Mina was working Marina. Yeah, not confusing at all. You're 100% right. Working her legs and then locked in the figure 4 that she likes. I loved how Marina Shafir got out of it by doing like the grab the finger and bend it back, like the break the finger to get out of it. And again, Super Shorts is more of to move the story than anything else. So yeah. I'll let you kind of get to the finish. We'll talk about what comes next.
My move of the match is Mina's missile dropkick into a cover. "Bring it, bitch. I'm not tapping," Marina screams at Mina in the figure 4 before trying to break Mina's fingers. Marina's mother's milk. Shirakawa goes limp. Ref calls it. Pure Kubrick stare from Shafir. The Wendy Carlos sting from The Shining is so apropos here. Marina keeps it going. "Lord, I've seen what you've done for others." It's Tony time. Tony rolls in, gets kicked, and drops over Mina's lifeless body, and Shafir taunts the crowd.
Right. One shot KO with the front kick. Again, and slumped over Mina. Again, we'll get more into kind of what comes of this and all kind of on the next show.
Yep.
But man, it's good, man. Marina's really growing on me. Like, again, already with the Death Riders, I'm like, I'm so annoyed by the Death Riders. But, like, she's branching out and kind of doing more stuff. Like, I can't wait. Like, it's definitely her and Tony coming to, like, a solo head here, and I can't wait for that.
Marina and Claudio are easily the scariest parts about the Death Riders. Wheeler and Danny are kind of just funny. And Mox is just, he's idiosyncratic. So it's hard to pin him down. There's the SAT word of the day, idiosyncratic. We get I believe, since we've started covering this, like almost every show, WWE brings in a couple of celebrities, right? Just put them ringside, et cetera, shout them out. I believe this is the second one, and it's Stewie from Succession, Arian Moayed. Have you watched Succession?
I'm not all the way through it, because Lid watched it, then we started watching it together. I think I'm only in like the second season, so I'm a good chunk behind, but I'm aware.
I love Stewie. We do get an update here before we head into our final match. The Elite have been reunited, but the Bucks are injured and out for a period of time indefinitely. They said the end of the year, and I'm like, guys, there's like 2 weeks. Like, come on, what do you? That doesn't mean anything. So we'll hear more about that when we get an update, and we'll pass that along to you. But that's kind of a heartbreaker for Kenny Omega and the Bucks. They were having a lot of fun with this, with bringing the Elite back. And again, just hope the best for the Bucks. In our main event, we've got Pac versus Jungle Jack Perry in a Gold League matchup. Perry's fighting out of a hole as Pac seeks to reach the semi-finals. What's your move of the match?
There's this point where Jack Perry goes for, it looks like maybe it was like a baseball slide, I'm not sure, under the bottom rope, and Pac catches him, but Perry throws himself back up to hit a bulldog on the outside, and then Pac does a belly-to-belly overhead suplex into the corner, and then it's like, what if we just climb to the top rope and I do it avalanche style?
My move of the match is Pac sending Perry perilously parallel to the plane of the mat. Yeah, you like that? You like that? You like that? All right, moving on. Our move of the finale here is another brutalizer, but Perry bites back. Cazador roll-up pin to win. Perry steals another 3 points by the skin of his teeth, Excalibur notes. Perry makes snow angels on the ramp, and Santosaurus brought milk and cookies. Perry feeds cookies to the camera and to the crowd. We got more to talk about here as we finish up the Continental Classic and lead into World's End. We've got more to talk about. Stay tuned here on The C Show. Welcome back to the C Show. You've opened up your presents. It's Christmas Collision. It's time for another one. We're opening up here still in Hammerstein with the Continental Classic Gold League. Kyle Fletcher versus Jungle Jack Perry. Perry proving his prowess going back to back. We were just listening to it as Connor was catching up here. The crowd going, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. And Nigel does ask Shivani if he got a lump of coal in his stocking. This is the highlight of his Christmas. I love that for you, Tony.
There was, this was good. And they did a really good job playing with the time here, right? So we'll talk about more in the finish. Literally, it's kind of like a buzzer beater here.
Yes.
But Fletcher has a lot of really good stuff. The whole tournament they've been talking about, Perry's ankle has been banged up. Like almost any move to talk about, you can see him, kind of taking it lightly on that or whatever, right? So early on, he's hammering it, ends up sticking his one foot between the ring and the steps, then literally takes his boot off. Perry wrestles half the match with only one boot. Fletcher gives a big power bomb to him on the apron, and then besides that, for me, it was Perry doing the sunset flip power bomb when they're both on the ropes.
I think the power bomb out of the turnbuckle by Perry was pretty impressive for me. Perry, I think it's impressive. I don't know if he went back to back here, because literally he's the main event of Dynamite, and then the next. You would think, ostensibly, the next thing they shoot is the first match on Collision. So he literally goes back to back, and he goes for almost the full 20 minutes here. I think Perry really proves himself here. The finale, of course, is Perry countering into a chokehold Fletcher in a compromised position, turning as pink as his shorts. Fletcher starts the fade, but he'd rather submit. He gets the middle of finger on the rope to break the hold. It's so disrespectful. Perry baits Fletcher, sends him down onto the mat, piledriver pin, 1, 2, but Fletcher kicks out. And right after the 1 minute warning, Fletcher hits the sheer drop brainbuster, pin to win, 1, 2, 3. Fletcher tops the leaderboard for now. Backstage, Kyle O'Reilly speaks with Roderick Strong. Kyle O'Reilly is grateful for Roddy stepping in, but why does he see a shroud of doubt in his eyes? Roddy has pushed him to be a better wrestler and person. It's the conglomeration are your friends, no matter what you think. It's Christmas, Roddy. We don't need a Christmas miracle. You can do this. Roderick effing Strong as he faces Claudio Castagnoli. But next up, we've got Konosuke Takeshita versus Mascara Dorada in the Continental Classic Blue League. Takeshita is already qualified and could eliminate Dorada with another win tonight.
Again, Dorada continues to grow on me.
Mm-hmm.
The two moves, I've one for each of them. So, well, quote unquote for each of them. Dorada tries to do a dive to the outside to Takeshita and just eats the barricade. Takeshita just kind of like side swipes him and pushes him in, just eats the barricade. And then Takeshita, this was, again, he always uses the blue thunder bomb. So a blue thunder bomb is like a power bomb, but essentially you're twisting the person up on your shoulders, get a little extra torque to it to slam them. This is one of like the biggest, and like because Dorada is so good and so athletic, like Dorada really like spun with it too. It looked brutal. Like that wasn't the end, but if that was, I wouldn't have been disappointed.
Yeah, right after Dorada hits the barricade hard, I loved that top post reverse moonsault by Dorada, and then a shooting star off the top post. But Takeshita lariat off the top ropes, a running knee strike, raging fire, pin to win, 1, 2, 3. Takeshita cements himself as the alpha of the Blue League and ends Dorada's Continental Classic campaign. Next up in the Blue League, we've got Claudio Castagnoli versus Roderick Strong. Claudio starts out quickly. He wants to end this and get it over with. Lock up in the semifinal spot. Superplex and pin by Claudio. Another lariat and pin by Claudio. And like that's the first 2 minutes.
Yeah. Besides that, like Claudio's always hitting his uppercuts. I loved where there was one where Strong was like sitting up in the ring and Claudio like kind of like dove at him on the ground, but still delivered an uppercut.
Yes.
It looked really weird, but that was super cool. And then I also just liked when there's a point where Claudio just absolutely dumps Strong over the barricade into the crowd like hard as hell to try and then he goes back in and he's like tells the ref start counting, right? Again, the people like fishing, I don't even know if that's the right term per se, for count out wins throughout this tournament. I've loved that.
It's a phenomenal strategy. It's really interesting to watch to see how they play that. Our finale here is Strong hits the vertical suplex with back to back knee strikes, takes off the knee pad, takes out Claudio, pin to win, 1, 2, 3 for his only 3 points of the classic. But the Death Riders attack. Yudan Garcia attack while Shafir looks on. The officials run out. Reach for the sky, boy. It's Mark Briscoe with a 2x4. Briscoe and Shafir face off, and Tony runs in to take out Shafir. Tony time. Yuta holds Shafir back and reassures Strong. Tony holds out her hand for Briscoe. Briscoe kisses the lady's hand, and it's set up for a mixed nuts match with the conglomeration Tony Storm and Roderick Strong versus the Death Riders at World's End. Stoke responds to the street fight offer. Stoke wonders how you sleep at night. FTR would accept their L's like real men. Next up in the Gold League of the Continental Classic, we've got Kevin Knight versus Pac. It's do or die here. It's win or go home. Both need the 3 points. A draw will not do.
I love that multiple times Knight goes for dives and Pac just keeps hitting him with the note, just like walking away as soon as he gets him on the ropes or whatever else. Knight does finally connect with that big diving clothesline out to the floor. And then it's got to be when Pac does a belly to belly and literally launches Knight out of the ring to the floor.
Yeah, like Pac throwing Knight over his shoulders, over the turnbuckle, shoulder blades hitting. That was my move of the match. Yeah, insane. Pac does several bumps where he hits his lower back. It's definitely been hurt. He's rolling around just like how I feel after sleeping for 4 nights on an air mattress. You have anything else?
Those were my big ones, right? I'm always going to love the coast to coast.
Yeah. We get the 1 minute warning here. Both need the 3 points. Pac wants to end it with the black arrow, but Knight counters with the knees up. Seconds counting down. Pac goes for the brutalizer. There's the bell. It's a draw. It's not good news for either. Pac wanted to end it with the brutalizer. Speaking of not good news, Ted Danson doing ads for sketchy mobile games. Gabe Kidd interrupts Tony Schiavone. He can hear Darby's head clattering. Darby's not indestructible. He's in the ICU. He can barely move. How is Darby Allin going to answer my challenge? Blackout. It's Darby. It was a work. It's always a work. He's back. Kidd has a Death Rider jacket on, but Allin has Sting's bat. Next up, in a non-title match, the Babes of Wrath face off against Hyan and Maya World.
Again, this was pretty quick. Again, kind of more giving them a warm up before they go to the pay-per-view here and do that. For me, like the things I was out of the usual, like, right, we can always call out Willow's, Cannonball, Spinebuster, Pounce. Those always look great.
Mm-hmm.
But the Babes of Wrath did a double senton where Harley got on Willow's back, like piggyback style, and then they both jumped and landed on, I believe it was Maya.
Yep.
So I love that. Their double team moves are always fantastic.
Willow pounces on Haya. Harley covers Maya 1, 2, 3. The Babes defend their title at World's End. They shake hands with their opponents, get mics, and Willow gets everyone to cozy up because she wants to tell you a little Christmas story. She visited the sites, Central Park, Empire State Building, Eddie Kingston's mother's house. But Willow be Santa, and as Santa, Willow wants everyone to live in peace and harmony. Except when we beat the ever-living shit out of Mercedes and Athena. Santa, this one's for you. Because next up, we've got Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley. Renee updates us. Mox is impressed by Orange's rise in the company. Will secure the points necessary. Orange Cassidy, in response, okay, cool. If this ends in a draw, Claudio wins as the tiebreaker. As the record amongst the three, Claudio is 2-0 against both of them. My move of the match is probably Cassidy DDT onto the ring bell and the table near the end.
I just want to know how that's not a DQ. Like, I get, like, you can use the stairs as part of the ring. Like, the announce table, sure. But, like, this is literally the timekeeper. Like, they are fighting on a barricade, like, over in the corner. And then, Cassidy just DDTs him through the table.
Yeah.
My first thought was like, how is that not a DQ? But no, that was far and away the move of the match. Like, that's what got me to go, oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. You have anything else you want to talk about?
That was really the big one. Again, the different ways that Orange Cassidy will hit a million different DDTs, whether it's off the top rope or out of crazy moves, especially when he's got his hands in his pockets, like, loves me. Like, he's such a great character like that, where, like, it always looks so nonchalant but effective.
It looks like he's doing nothing. And, I mean, when he puts his hands in his pockets and he does the kip up, that's really impressive. When he's, like, running up the ropes running up the corner doing that, it's incredible. Cassidy has tried to pin Mox and now has him in a Boston Crab. Mox struggles for the rope, but Cassidy keeps him close. A twisting, spinning DDT by Cassidy. Cassidy orange punch, beach break, and Mox still kicks out. Mox rolls him up 1, 2, 3, and it's over. Mox moves forward. Cassidy fought valiantly, but it wasn't enough. He's stunned.
I love Mox's whole trajectory through this group stage of the tournament, right? His whole thing was always, we'll be there every day. If there's any time in the hourglass, we can still score, right? So to see him kind of claw his way back, you don't think of a star like Jon Moxley having to claw his way through a tournament.
Yeah.
So I thought that was just a really great way to present him throughout this whole thing.
Indeed. In our final match for the Gold League, it's Kazuchika Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Okada needs the win here to retain his title. Otherwise, we'll have a new Continental Champion after World's End. Speedball's Grinch-themed gear is here to steal Okada and Callis' presence.
Oh, God, Okada, just so goddamn funny, man. Like, early on, they do a little bit, right? Speedball goes to shake his hand. Okada just kicks him in the gut. Speedball hits that second rope moonsault from inside out of the ring to the floor. And then when Speedball hit his double knees on the ramp, again, I love their use of the surrounding area, the ringside, the ramp. That's just really great storytelling AEW does that we don't see in other promotions.
If Bailey wins here, he not only ties, but since he beat Fletcher, he would top the leaderboard. Ultimate Weapon on Okada's back is probably my move of the match. And Okada rolling out. Okada locks in with 5 minutes remaining. Another ultimate weapon to the back again, and Okada kicks out mere seconds away. Okada counters Bailey, pins 1, 2, 3, and it's over. Okada moves on. Okada could retain, but has to face his family member in Takeshita. Takeshita enters, and they face off in the middle of the ring. Impressed by Speedball. He had a rough start, and then 2 incredible matches, and now... he doesn't get the 3 points against Okada here, but I feel like a very strong performance from both him and Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight, again, also had a fantastic Continental Classic. But this all leads up into World's End, which we're going to talk about here next on The C Show. Welcome back to the C Show. We're now talking about AEW World's End on December 27th in Chicago, Illinois. But technically, it's like the suburbs of Chicago, Hoffman Estates. We start off with the Continental Classic Tournament semifinal match. Kazuchika Okada in the Gold League and Konosuke Takeshita from the Blue League. All right, clarification. The Unified Championship is only active when a wrestler simultaneously holds the Continental and International Championships. The International Championship can be contested for like a normal belt, but the Continental title is only during this tournament, right? Mm-hmm. So nobody can contest for the Continental belt until the next
classic.
The next classic. So now that all makes sense, hopefully. Excalibur notes, these two men have been on a collision course. Good one, buddy. Good one. Wow, did you think about that one all week, all month?
Probably screaming that through his headset. Say it.
I mean, I think my move of the match here is at the end. It's the final sequence and how it all ends here. But tell me what your highlights were.
This is a great match. It was like a slow building start. Again, two guys that, are both part of the family, but obviously don't like each other. Have had all their issues throughout, right? Finally kind of getting another chance to slug it out a little more. Mm-hmm. For me, Takeshita hits this big stalling brain buster, just holding Okada up and dumping him. There's a point where they get into like a slug off and they're fighting back and forth, and Okada kind of takes one. He kind of like goes back and like flare flops, as they say, where it's like, no, I'm fine. Whoa. And he kind of like drops to a knee. Again, just too damn funny, man. Takeshita hits that wheelbarrow German the long way.
The long way.
And another big blue thunder bomb. But again, the finish is what really does it for this match. And again, how it gets called back to later. So I'll let you rip that.
After trading back-to-back suplexes before Okada's German suplex, Takeshita almost gets it, but Okada pulls a screwdriver from the turnbuckle. He'll do anything to keep that title. Rainmakers with the screwdriver. What is the ref looking at? What did we pay you for, pal? Referee doesn't see it, and Okada gets the pin, advances to the finals, 1, 2, 3. Okada tosses the screwdriver under the ring as he celebrates with Callis. They both made their choices there as they walk away from the ring, up the ramp as Takeshita watches. Incredible.
What a way to kick off the show, man.
I think the next match here that we're going to have is going to set up the sort of our next big storyline in 2026. We've got Kyle Fletcher in the Gold League versus Jon Moxley in the Blue League of the AEW Continental Classic Tournament semifinals. Callis is backstage easing tensions between two of his stars, so he's not joining us on commentary. Thank goodness. My move of the match is Fletcher goes for the PK off the apron. Mox catches and goes back up. Fletcher thrust kick into a neckbreaker on the apron. The lights are on, but no one's home.
Oh, man. So many good things in this match, too. Like, sometimes that's why I hate when we do, like, two things and the pay-per-view. So, again, first thing, shout out to the person in the one corner when they were out fighting who had a sign that said Mox's Blood Zone.
That's incredible.
Great sign.
Oh.
Absolutely fantastic sign. Man, Mox hits a big shotgun drop kick. And then it was also, oh my God, I know I have. So Mox does an avalanche cutthroat suplex. So on the top rope, basically like grabbed around Fletcher's neck, and he dropped him directly on the top of his goddamn head. I was petrified.
I thought the show was going to be over. We were watching the day after, but I was like, geez.
Yeah, so that huge cutthroat suplex, and then Mox immediately does a stomp right after. And then they both have their periods of the other guy hits a move, but they just like kick out at one and start hulking up, start bugging out. Absolutely fantastic, right? Mox gives him a slap, flops from the double bird. And then we kind of get our callback here.
Fletcher is going for an implement. He's scrambling around the corners. Did Fletcher leave the screwdriver there? Did Okada mess this up for him? Mox gets his advantage Death Rider. Fletcher kicks out. Sleeper hold. Fletcher going out. His hands dropping. He's turning purple. The ref calls it. It's Moxley versus Okada. The ref explains his reasoning to Fletcher, but he's obviously disappointed. Fletcher attacks the ankle. One last attack. Fletcher did not tap out. The ref called it. Big difference.
So I just want to call it real quick. So again, Fletcher goes and looks for this screwdriver. So there's a couple of things here. One, Okada knew it was there, right? So did Fletcher tell him, right? They don't seem like they get along super well. That'd be a discussion they have. Then my other thing is, so were you not watching the first match where you see Okada take it and then stuff it in his pants and throw it under the ring?
I don't watch the product, brother.
And then I just love the idea that he's like, oh, maybe it's in, because he literally goes and tears it off each corner, tears and exposes. He's like, maybe I put it in a different corner. Like, just keeps looking for it. It's like, ruh-roh, brother.
Remember how Okada throws it under the ring? Maybe Fletcher was walking out the gorilla when he noticed that. As it happened, and so he's not watching the TV. He's not watching the stream backstage.
Oh man, if only Gorilla was filled with a bunch of monitors where everyone watched the matches.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe you got worked. Next up, AEW World Tag Team Championship, Chicago Street Fight. FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood with Stokely versus the Bang Bang Gang, Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson. Austin Gunn comes out Ninja Turtle style.
So I literally wrote, Guns come out strapped Ninja Turtle style.
The juice is loose. Complimentary. And they go at it immediately. Some of my hell yeahs are the trash can being thrown around, Stokes setting up the tables going yippee before Dax is thrown into the post. Juice's frog splash, Stoke spilling out onto the table, hilarious.
I would say, yeah.
Juice being in the figure four for what felt like hours.
Forever, right? No, I loved, like you said, when Austin put the trash can back on his back to use it to slam them against the ropes. Like you mentioned, Juice was in that figure four forever and breaks it with a fire extinguisher, just blowing a fire extinguisher in Dax's face. There's a point where Juice hits, the Juice is loose, but of course Stokely comes in and attacks the ref. Just bodies him. It's like, God damn it.
It's kind of classic.
Oh my God.
Kind of classic.
And then so Stokes on the apron and all, and they launch him off the apron, and he misses the table that's set up out there and just slams his head off the announce table.
His butt hits the table and he slides off the edge and then just slides into the table. Objectively hilarious.
And then the other thing I love is there's a point where Cash Wheeler goes to dive at Austin and totally misses and hits a table that's just laying up against the barricade that I have no idea when it was set up. And I'm like, oh, there's a table there. Oh, and he just destroyed it.
FTR hit the shatter machine and Gunn breaks up the pin. Dax pile driver onto the trash can. Tag team pile driver on the belts. Gunn in the middle, covered by Dax. 1, 2, 3. FTR retain. I hope we get to see more of this. This is exciting. This is fun. Maybe we get a little TLC. Ooh, maybe we get a little more TLC here. Maybe we get some bigger tag stuff. more stipulations. Let's have some fun here, folks. Speaking of having fun, it's the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship. The Babes of Wrath defend their title against Mercedes Moné and Athena. Moné, of course, comes out with the Belt Boys and attacks Harley first thing.
Man, again, so many good things here. I love Athena. She is so damn strong. There's a point where Harley does a dive to the outside. Athena catches her and does, the Mark Henry spot.
Yeah.
You catch someone coming at you and then roll through it as well. That's absolutely unbelievable. Athena and Monet do a really nice lung blower backstabber combo. So jump, 2 knees to the front, jump, 2 knees to the back right after each other. That was awesome. And then I do want to call out that at one point, Harley tried to do a sling blade, and there's this kind of miscommunication. They both just kind of fell that I thought was really funny. And then last, there was a point where Athena and Monet were trying to do a double team superplex off the top rope, but Willow comes in, and basically it's like a double power bomb. So it was like the Tower of Doom, but Harley stayed up top.
Absolutely. Yeah, Willow hitting the Tower of Doom out of the corner, and then Harley following up with crossbody is definitely my second move of the match. My first is almost immediately after that. Willow, Death Valley Driver, and Athena breaking up the pin. Doomsday Device by Mercedes and Athena. Harley dives in to break up the pin. Willow locks her leg behind Mercedes, then rolls her up the pin and win. 1, 2, 3. Athena and Mercedes both stunned. In her first PPV performance, Willow defends the tag team titles with Harley Cameron. We love to see it. Next up, in a singles match, and with a interesting bend here, Gabe Kidd faces off against Darby Allin. We get a quick vignette for Darby beforehand. It says at the end, "I'll remember you as you were, not as you are." Is this a goodbye for now? Right? We've talked about Darby being injured. There was that time after the first Continental Classic match where he didn't travel with the company. So is this a, hey, I'm going to do it big and then take a second out, or take a break for a little bit?
If it is that, it's very weird. Not this is exactly forced, but they've been going back and forth with different things and all, right? It all started at Blood and Guts and all, but it's just hard to build when Darby hasn't really been there, and they've already been like, oh, he's injured and he's out of the Continental Classic.
Yeah.
But hey, he's still going to wrestle on the same show that they're doing the Continental Classic on. So it is very weird. Again, whatever he needs, just do it. You're a maniac, complimentary, and just get yourself right.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. Kid seesaws Allen through the top of the stairs, missile dropkick off the post, the Kid on chair. Darbin, coffin drop to the floor. Darby steps through the Scorpion Deathlock. I mean, they get bloody fast. Darby really went across the forehead. Kid as well was busted open at the end. The Crimson Masks were in full force. Tony Schiavone says, "You know what Darby Allin was going to do, and damn it, he did it."
Yeah, you really hit all the big things when Kid, like you said, kind of slingshots Darby up underneath the steel steps, and the top part of it breaks off. That was absolutely awesome. Like you said, they were both bleeding and all, right? To the point where Kid literally wipes his face to immediately slap Darby's chest with all the blood. And then Darby hit an avalanche code red for it too. And I did think that was going to be the finish. I thought they were going to do a little flash finish for us.
But Darby, again, steps through the Scorpion Deathlock, the blood dripping from Kid's nose. Kid follows with a headbutt and a lariat, and then delivers a jumping piledriver for a 2 count. Kid's chokehold countered by Allen, rolls him up for the pin and win, 1, 2, 3. The legend of Darby Allin, Riz is on, no cap, 6-7, on God. Crazy stuff. Speaking of crazy stuff, 8-person tag team mixed nuts mayhem match. Say that 10 times fast. The Death Riders, Marina Shafir, Daniel Garcia, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta versus Tony Storm, Roderick Strong, and the conglomeration Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe. We start with a Tony and Shafir promo. They tried sound bites, Shafir calling Tony's retorts cute. There's a tornado-style match here, so anybody can fight anybody, and I guess pins count anywhere, essentially. This is mixed nuts mayhem, baby. Yeah.
Like, literally the first thing that happens is Wheeler Yuta grabs Tony and throws her outside, and I literally just wrote, Yuta throws Tony outside, unalive him.
Yuta throws Tony around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. Yuta throws Tony. Sorry.
And then I loved OC, Orange Cassidy, basically like exactly dunking on Daniel Garcia by hitting the Daniel Garcia dance. And then him and Shafir face off, and they both put their hands in the pockets.
For our audio, for our listeners, the Daniel Garcia dance is very simple. He's got his hands like boxing pose in front of his face, and he's just kind of like humping the air. He's just kind of dry humping.
Yeah, like arms up and down, moving the hips.
It's very much like, yeah, girls, it's the winter formal. We're in 8th grade. It's very much that. It's very much that. I love Cassidy's DDT on Claudio and then Froggy Bow by Briscoe. Tony throwing Garcia into Yuta, a German suplex on Garcia.
Dude, just everything about Tony and OC.
What about the Death Rider Death Spiral? We finally got a name for that when they're like running in the circle and doing the cannonball move in the corner.
Yeah, when all four just keep piling out and say everyone got a little bit of taste of that just about.
That's the Death Rider Death Spiral.
No, but when Tony and Cassidy are like doing their dancing bits, and right, like there's the point where she goes and she dips him and he ends up kicking someone, and as they're going through and they're spinning, like, oh my god, wonderful.
Claudio picks Tony off Shafir, a DDT by Tony on Claudio out of the corner. Claudio giant swing, Storm Zero on Garcia. Cassidy tears his brace off before an orange punch on Yuta. Jay Driller on Yuta, and it's over. 1, 2, 3. Babes of Wrath, Luther and Mina come out to celebrate. Cassidy gets uppies from Tony during the celebration.
I was gonna say, when Orange just jumps straight into Tony's arms.
Uppies, uppies, uppies. Lord, I've seen what you've done for others. Lexi Nair interviews Mercedes Moné, justifiably crash outs backstage, collects herself for the interview. Mercedes says, I am a global icon. I am the greatest TBS champion of all time. And then we get into the AEW Women's World Championship match of Chris Statlander versus Jamie Hayter. We got a fire versus ice thing going on here with the ring gear. It's very interesting. What are your moves of the match?
Oh, man. They're on the outside, and Hayter goes for a drop kick.
Yep.
Statlander catches her and launches her into the steps.
Mm-hmm.
Hayter hit, not sure exactly what it was, some kind of like trapped avalanche suplex from the rope, like really had Statlander kind of wrapped up and dumped her.
But that came at a cost for Hayter.
No, absolutely. And then before we get into the finish, the other thing for me is Statlander hits a top rope Michinoku driver, which again, I'm like, that could be the finish. That's effing brutal.
That was my move of the match. The ref has to check on both Hayter and Statlander after that. Stat spits to the face after a good brawling sequence, and Hayter hits the Saturday Night Fever. Hayter catches Statlander, but it's not enough. Statlander escapes before the slam and pin to win. 1, 2, 3. Chris Statlander retains. The AEW Continental Classic Tournament, the final match. Kazuchika Okada versus Jon Moxley. Callis and Okada speak directly to camera. It's Moxley versus Okada in the finals. They've never seen each other before. Callis says he had to look at what Moxley did to him 3.5 years ago, and Okada is going to do it to Moxley tonight. Okada responds, Moxley has never beaten him and he never will because he is the greatest tournament wrestler of all time. Bitch. Just thinking of him with the beanie and the oversized Bape hoodie, like in like Jesse in Breaking Bad.
This is my own private domicile and I will not be harassed. Bitch.
Mox responds, Okada is the best. The Continental Classic is a hill worth dying on, and you're going to have to kill me. Does Okada still have the screwdriver, we wonder? Okada messes with Moxley by dancing around his hands during the lockup. A guy at ringside had the middle finger under his hat. Okada messes with Moxley by dancing around his hands during the lockup. The guy at ringside had the middle finger under his hat. Quote, not the little kid flipping him off.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Oh my God. There's just so much here, right? Okada attacking the leg with the great dragon screw. Mox hits a whole bunch of pile drivers, is constantly looking to get in and out of these different chokes, right? Okada being the scumbag he is, finding a spot to hit a low blow into a Rainmaker, but only getting it two. Yep. Moxley just immediately returning the favor and saying, F you.
This is a hill Mox is ready to die on. He hits the Death Rider 1, 2, 3. Mox pins the win and is the 2025 Continental Classic champion. This championship isn't mine. It's for everyone, he says. The fans. I owe it to everyone. My teammates. There's no other organization like AEW.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool that he shouted out. He's like, it's the crowd and it's everyone else that was in this tournament. It's a lot to have a lot of big time matches like that, back to back, be there every week to put on a show. And there's a big difference when it comes to, this tournament style of wrestling. And especially this is like already different. It's more round robin, the most like traditional tournaments.
Yeah.
And again, for both these guys to do this for their second match of the night after having both of them had big time first match. It's not like one was like usually do the thing where someone kind of breezes through, they're nice and light, the other one's beat up, like
3-minute squash.
Exactly. They both got the hell beat out of them, both times, and the whole way that this was carried out, like I was engaged throughout. Like again, in the beginning, like you can go back to the pod. I'm like, I guess there's kind of pushing Moxley to the side. Maybe he's kind of putting guys over for this and all that. And again, to see him scratch and claw and come back, the great work between Okada and Shiketa to just do all that and to do it with the screwdriver. And then that affects the Kyle Fletcher match. Like again, top to bottom, they did everything right with the Continental Classic.
I like how it makes every match matter. I like the aspect of the league, like the league following the league. Everything impacts the other, right? So like Strong winning and taking 3 points from Castagnoli with the last match, right? That sort of shutters his momentum and then also prevents him from getting into the semifinals. I think there's really interesting stuff at play as well. I want to see the women do a Continental Classic this spring. I want it.
That would be sick.
I want it. We got our first women's Blood and Guts this year. I think it's time for the women to do Continental Classic. Maybe not at the same time. Maybe do it in the spring so that we kind of have it spread out and we get one Continental Classic and then we get the other one. Some sort of tournament. Like you said, dude, like like I said earlier on, like, and emphasizing your points, like it makes every match matter. It really drives these storylines. It helps put people over. It adds a lot of dynamics. Sometimes I feel like we're just having matches to have matches. There's not like an end goal, right? And in some cases it's pretty clear, but sometimes like we've literally watched this and be like, this is literally there to fill time. These are not there to fill time.
Yeah, and right, if it wasn't in the tournament, you don't see Speedball and Knight get the wins they did. Like, that was only possible in the context of the tournament, right?
Yes.
And I think that even if they did have those wins in random singles matches, right, it wouldn't carry the momentum, right? Both of them got those big wins that rolled into the next match. Like, hey, man, they might flip this switch now. They might be the guy, right?
Yeah.
And kind of play that back and forth is awesome.
I think for me, it goes back to like 2014-15 season in the Premier League where Leicester wins, right? That was insane. Or it was 15-16. But like that was an insane season. Like everything worked out perfectly for Leicester to win, right? Jamie Vardy went on a tear. He broke that Van Nistelrooy's scoring record. Chelsea City sort of falling apart. Liverpool not mounting a challenge, right? You have all of these different dynamics at play in a league like that. I think it's super interesting, and especially with the point system, right? Where 1 point for a draw, 3 points for a win, right? Because if a match goes out to 19 minutes, your strategy changes, right? We saw it with Castagnoli. With Castagnoli when he was trying to with Pac trying to hit the brutalizer on Jack Perry, right? And trying to end the match, getting Perry to tap out rather than ending in a draw, right? So I really love it. I want to see like more style of like tournament wrestling. There's also the Owen Hart Cup, which we're going to cover in the beginning of the year. Actually, I think that's what the women do. The women do the Owen Hart. No, it's both, actually. They both have the Owen Hart Cup. But, like, I saw the semifinals for that at Dynasty earlier this year. So we're going to have that coming up in the spring. So there's going to be more tournament wrestling to talk about. And there's the history and the meaning of the Owen Hart Trophy as well. I can't wait, man. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, all right, you look worried.
Locked in, brother. Speaking of locked in, next up, AEW Men's World Championship in a fatal four-way. Samoa Joe defends his title against Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana, Adam Page versus MJF. I just want to note this as we get started here. Swerve comes out with the Green Lantern intro, and it's straight up referencing Jon Stewart's Justice League costume. So Jon Stewart is the second Green Lantern in the canon. He's also a Black Marine aviator, right? So that's a huge part of Stewart's story, as well as Strickland. Strickland is an Army Reserve veteran. Another really interesting thing to note here. The Green Lantern represents willpower. Will Swerve be able to power through to win here? We also get a new version of MJF's intro song, Babes and Banner. Just a quick note on the stipulations. It's first to fall finish here. Joe does not have privileges. God, man, they did so much in this.
We literally just finished watching this match,
was so good.
This is fresh for us.
Like, Swerve hits the back flip dive to the outside and still lands on his feet. Hangman tries to do a moonsault to the outside, totally misses the group.
I mean, yeah.
There's a point where Hangman uses Swerve's back to hit the buckshot lariat, which was awesome.
Not screaming, no.
Right. When MJF launches Hangman off the ropes, like he pulls the ropes up as Hangman's on the outside for the buckshot lariat and hits a great cutter for that.
Hangman definitely ate his apples before this match because he intercepts the house call.
God damn you.
Joe breaks up the pin after the second lariat, coming in for a Tower of Doom that lands right on MJF. Again, MJF going, no. And then almost makes the cover on Hangman before moving over to Swerve and then MJF. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, MJF hits an awesome Canadian Destroyer on Swerve, and then the Ops come out. I literally put just to be pricks, didn't really do anything besides be in the way.
The Ops and the Joppers, yes. Where's my note on that? Yeah, Hangman Angel Wings on Swerve and Nana tries to get the crowd going. He looks like he's going for a buckshot lariat, moonsault on MJF, and then the buckshot lariat and pin op on Swerve. The Joppers pull Swerve out of the corner as he sets up for a house call. Spinebuster by Joe on Hangman. Hangman kicks out. Joe argues with the ref. Hook does it too. Hook, put a shirt on.
And then there's a point where Joe has Hangman in the coquina clutch, and Swerve does a top rope stomp, and it looked like he literally just squished Joe's head. Like, either they had a great shot, and they're both great wrestlers. I know they're safe blood, but like, it looks like he stomped directly, heels on Joe's eyeballs.
Whew. Swerve powerbombs Joe out of the corner. MJF sends Swerve towards commentary. Hangman deals with MJF, and then a buckshot lariat. Back to back to back, but a low blow by MJF prevents it. Heatseeker by MJF. He pins the win, steals the championship. The Casino Gauntlet contract was executed perfectly. MJF, a two-time champion twice before he's 30. 9 other men have done it. Lou Thez, Ricky Dozan, who defeated Lou Thesz for the NWA International Heavyweight Championship on August 27th, 1958 in Japan. Shinsuke Nakamura, Kazuchika Okada, Yokozuna, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, John Cena, and now MJF. What a club.
Right.
What a club. And like matches like that, like we haven't seen MJF for about a month and a half or so.
Mm-hmm.
He's been filming movies and he got married, Mazel Tov, Max. But like Paul Walter Hauser, he can wrestle. Like he's legit. He like legit. MJF has been doing this now for over a decade, and not only has the scars to prove it, but like just the swagger, the ability. We talked briefly off mic beforehand about some of the perceived beef that's going on backstage with MJF, and will he be going elsewhere now? We'll all see. We'll all see.
Well, if any of that happens, if there's more news to break, you know where to find it. Here on the C Show.
Of course you like the C Show. Make sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with your friends. Support the show directly at ko-fi.com/cshowpod. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube at C Show Pod. Have a question for the boys? Send an email, cshowpod@gmail.com. Thanks to our friends Amir, Patrick, and Justin for their assistance. The C Show is a production of 832 Media. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.
Bitch!